Good morning, respected sir and my dear friends. Today my seminar topic is digital preservation, tools and techniques. And that is my content here. Introduction. We all know preservation is a branch of library and information science concerned with maintaining or restoring access to artifact, document and records through the study, diagnosis, treatment and prevention of decay and damage. Digital preservation is about a series of actions that need to be taken and managed to make sure there is continued access to digital material for as long as is necessary. According to UNESCO, digital preservation consists of processed aimed to ensuring the continued accessibility and digital materials. To do this involves finding ways to represent what was originally present to users by a combination of software and hardware tools acting on the data. Preservation tools. Digital preservation should be modular and flexible to ensure it is sustainable. A combination of tools and technologies that are currently available may be the most cost-effective means of achieving this flexibility. File format identification from the National Archives, DROID. File registry database from the National Archives, PRONOM. Community owned digital preservation tools registry, COPTR. Sprouse a project including a digital preservation business case toolkit. Sprouse. Preservation techniques. The preservation of digital media includes uh, following techniques. Metadata attachment. Metadata is data on digital file that includes information creation and access right restrictions, preservations of history, and right management. Metadata attached to digital files may be affected by files format obsolescence. ASC2 is considered to be the most durable format of metadata because it is widespread, backwards compatible when used with Unicode and utilize human readable character, not numeric codes. It retains information but not the structured information it is presented in. For higher functionality, standard generalized markup language or extensible markup language should be used. Both markup languages are stored in ASC2 format but contain text that denotes structured format. The long term of storage of digital information is assessed by inclusion of preservation metadata. Second one is use of standard file format. File format should be widespread, backwards compatible, often upgraded, and ideally open format. The National Institute for a Network Cultural Heritage Site and uncompressed text image file format and portable document format PDF and American Standard Code for Information and Interchange AS2 and rich text format RTF as de facto formats that are unlikely to be rendered obsolete in the near future. Third one is avoiding physical deterioration of media. The media on which digital contents are stored are more vulnerable to deterioration and catastrophic loss than some analog media such as paper. While acid paper is prone to deterioration in terms of brittleness and yellowness, the deterioration does not become apparent for the last 6 decades. And when the deterioration begins, it processed slowly. it is also highly possible to retrieve all information without loss. The deterioration is spotted. The recording media is for digital data deteriorated at a much more repeat space, and once the deterioration start, in more cases there is already data loss. The characterization of the digital forms leaves a very short time frame of presentation, uh, frame of preservation and decision and action. So it should be avoided as far as possible by maintaining an appropriate environmental conditions. Number 4 is replication. Replication is the process of creating multiple copies of the digital document and keeping them in multiple locations. Sometimes it is the best mean of preserving cultural resources by lowering the risk of loss. Data that exists as a single copy in only one location is highly vulnerable of software or hardware failure, or international or hardware failure, intentional or accidental alteration, and an environmental catastrophe like fire, flooding, earthquake, etc. Digital data is more likely to survive if it is replicated in several locations. This goal may be facilitated by following standards and guidelines that mandate producing a master copy for long-term storage and preservation, and producing used copies derived from the master copy in the format that best satisfies the user's need. Number 5 is refreshing. Refreshing is the task transferring. Fifth one is refreshing. Refreshing is the task of transferring content between two types of the same storage medium. Refreshing will always be necessary due to the deterioration of physical digital media. Number 6, migration. The biggest problem to the digital media preservation is the storage format evolution and its obsolescence. Migration can address this issue. It is the transferring of data to a newer system environment and the process of transferring information from one generation computer system to the next available computer generation that is advanced in nature. Only continual forward migration of files and information to the latest data storage standards can address the issue of digital obsolescence. Example includes transferring contents from floppy to CD and then to DVD and then to Blu-ray and so on. Number 7, bitstream copying. Backing up data refers to process of making an exact duplicate of the original digital object, and it should be followed by remote storage so that the original and the copy document does not become victims of the same disasters event. This is an essential preservation strategy for data losses due to hardware and media failure, normal multifunction and decay, malicious destruction, and natural disaster. Number 8, emulation. Emulation uses emulator, a special kind of software that translates code and instruction from one computing environment to execute in the new platform so that the digital form can be viewed and used. Number 9, technology preservation. It deals with the preservation of technology in which digital information was created and maintained. It deals with the issues of preserving the technology, including hardware and software configuration, and it is very helpful in extending access to media obsolescence and file format. Number 10 is digital archaeology. Digital archaeology includes methods and procedures to rescue the content from damaged media, hardware, or of software environments. Number 11 is analog backups. It is process the conversion of a digital object into analog format. It is useful to the documents that deserves the highest level of merit and protection from being lost. The analog backup of printed document can be created by taking a printout of the document and then binding it. Now we come to conclusion. Preservation of deterioration measures significantly extend the useful life of all type of documents and must need to be implemented. In doing so, the person concerned should work with curators, recommending officers, and other preservation staff to make decision about binding, housing, and related matters. In regards to digital media preservation and conservation, digital creation and digital obsolescence are frequently pronounced. Digital creation is the selection, preservation, maintenance, and collection and archiving of digital assets. It is the process of establishing and developing long-term repositories of digital assets for current and future reference by researchers, scientists, historians, and scholars generally. Whereas digital obsolescence is a situation where a digital becoming out of fashion and no longer useful. Digital obsolescence is a situation where digital resources is no longer readable because the physical, the hardware of software that runs on it is no longer available. Answer my references is there. Thank you for watching.